See you later, Liz Cheney. You know, Liz Cheney was probably trying to lose that election because she's going to go to CNN and make millions of dollars, right?
Yep.
These people disgust me. They really do, Sarah. They disgust me.
They disgust me as well. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you, Liz. All right.
So Liz Cheney lost in Wyoming, to the Trump-endorsed candidate. I don't care if it was a sack of potatoes, anybody but Liz Cheney. But she lost by a pretty large margin. And of course, there were a lot of people who said, well, we don't know the final count yet. No, yeah, she lost by a huge margin. It was done.
It was done very early in the night.
And speaking of people that just irritate me, I got pretty disgruntled when it comes to Brian Stelter on yesterday's episode, and I said some pretty strong things. I wanted to. I'm just kidding. I'm not apologizing for Jack. I would say it 1,000 times, but I posted that video on Twitter last night. I ain't gonna lie to you. I had a little bit to drink last night, and I was just feeling rambunctious. So I posted that, and I tagged him in it, which normally I don't tag people because it brings the reach down. A lot of times,
really?
Yeah. So Stelter, maybe not so much, but it limits.
It messes with the
algorithm. So a lot of times when you think tagging everybody's a good idea, it's not. It will actually limit the reach. He liked it. he liked I put the thing up there. I said, let's discuss the what does it say?
The musings
of Beta Cuck
Brian Stelter. And his love of big government.
And he liked it. There it is. And then you liked it. Of course, I expect you to like it. You're obligated to like everything I do.
Well, that's true, but it really was one of the funniest things I've ever heard from you.
I was sitting on the toilet, and that's when it popped, and I was like, look at there.
Brian Stelter.
So I took a screenshot and sent it to you.
Yeah.
Were you sitting on the toilet too?
I wasn't sitting on the toilet.
You don't do things like that, do you?
No, I don't actually. Thank you for mentioning that.
You got it.
But I really do want to know, did he even read what you wrote?
No. I don't
Did he even, or does he just go through and like every time his name is tagged?
I don't know.
I feel like that's probably what it is.
Just start liking stuff.
I want to interact with Brian Stelter.
I thought it was pretty fascinating.
I feel like there'd be a lot of demonic energy there.
I'm yawning like Glenn Beck. Okay, Radio Hall of Fame. This morning, Glenn kept losing his place. He had the attorney general on from whatever state. And
I heard.
And they kept dropping the audio or whatever, and Stu was trying to get him back on. And Stu was trying to do all that and talk at the same time to fill the air while Glenn was dealing with the technical issue. And Glenn goes, what are we even talking about right now? He's like, where are you going with this?
What are you going to talk to the attorney general about this?
You're going to lead into with this to the attorney general, talking about muscle cars that are becoming electric. And Stu was like, I'm getting to the point.
Which was actually...
and Glenn wasn't paying attention. I was like, okay, Mr. Radio Hall of Fame.
Which was actually really funny because I was thinking about texting Stu and telling him, hey, that was actually a great job filling time on the fly. And Glenn just totally reamed him for no reason.
Just reamed him. Anyway, God, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be employed here. Maybe I could get a job at CNN.
I don't know that I would.
Can I just go on record and say to no one in particular that if you're ever a guest on this show or you have a podcast or anything like that, that's not a job interview. Okay. I have so many people who reach out to me wanting me to help them get on the Blaze, like bring their show. I don't have that kind of pull around here. That's not what I do.
None of us do.
Glenn doesn't.
Also, I would just say personally, not your opinion, but mine, it's a little tacky.
It is. It is a little tacky.
If you want to come on to be on my show, come on to be on my show.
Yeah, I like to have guests, but it's getting to the point where a lot of times, like, I'm getting tired. I don't want to have guests anymore.
Yeah.
Because they keep saying, how can I get on? How can I get on?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is not a job interview here. And they say, well, what does Glenn think? Glenn doesn't think. Glenn doesn't think about you. You're not on Glenn's radar. And let me just tell you something. If the Blaze wants you, then you're already on their radar.
Right.
They don't ask me.
They're constantly looking.
If they're thinking of putting you on, giving you a show, you're already on their radar.
Correct. And they are following every move that you make on social media.
Trust me, they're already watching, and the executives. Not all the executives are here in the building, so that's not the way it works. Anyway, can we make an announcement about the new show coming on, The Blaze? Are we allowed to talk about that? We can't say anything about that yet? Okay.
No. We got a lot of new fun stuff coming up.
There is some good
very
stuff.
Soon.
This is going to be fun. And I'm not on it,
Chad,
so I don't really care.
Did I miss the memo of you being the announcer of new shows?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because like even me and him are looking at each other like, is it the show that we're thinking about right now? Because there's not even ink on paper yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's...
Dude, I really don't care. I mean, bro, let me tell you something. They don't ask my opinion around here on big decisions. And so for the most part, I don't care. It's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just kind of some inner musings of what's going on at the Blaze.
Right.
I like working here. I feel like the guy in the basement with the stapler, an office space where they don't even know he works there anymore. Like,
are you even getting a paycheck? We don't know.
You know, I talked to Glenn on Monday. This is the first time I've seen him since he got back from Idaho. I saw Glenn on Monday, and he's like, does all of this help you? He's talking about, like, going out doing live shows. And I was like, no. I mean, no. Like, I piss a lot of people off. You know, I'm I'm the kind of person, when I started doing the videos in the truck, I knew that I was good for 60 seconds.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I can talk for 60 seconds and not get in trouble. You're giving me an hour-long program, 4 nights a week, and 20 minutes overtime for the weekend. I'm gonna f this up. Like, there's no question about it. And like, my mother keeps going, stop cussing. And I'm like, Mom, I have to fill time. I need all the words.
There are only so many words out there, Mom.
I need all the words. And, you know, those one-syllable booms like that, they just help me.
Somehow they keep letting you show up.
They
so
do.
I
just keep coming. We'll see. So who knows? When you start hearing about an independent show from producer Chad Prather, you'll know what happened. The executives finally listened to this show. I love it here at the Blaze. I'm not being held under duress. They do feed me.
Chad Prather didn't kill himself.
I didn't kill him. Yeah, let me tell you something. The Beck Army is worse than Hillary Clinton. Oh, trust me. Glenn's secretary can kill you with a finger.
That is true.
Anyway. And Chad, we're back on Facebook, so...
We're back, and I thank you. We're back on YouTube.
On YouTube.
We're back on YouTube.
So we're back on YouTube.
Which we don't know how.
We don't know how.
We don't know how.
It was supposed
so
to be
welcome back to anybody, the 7 people that are in the live chat tonight, because we told you we were going to be banned for 2 weeks, and apparently
it was
they're
supposed
cutting
to
it
be
short.
November 2nd.
What?
Well, the problem with November 2nd is we have the violation will stay on our record until November 2nd.
Yes.
So that means if we say, that's why I told them yesterday, I told the executives yesterday, I said, I'm not going to talk about anything controversial until November. Mm-hmm. Because they win. They've taken my free speech. I can't say anything controversial. We could talk about Glenn Beck's secretary, but we can't talk about your menstrual cycles and what could possibly affect those.
I will keep my mouth shut.
Yeah. We can't talk about, these things that run through your arteries and hit your heart, and you just die, like before you even hit the ground. You bloop, just fall out.
That's called SADS. It's sudden adult death syndrome.
Sudden adult death syndrome.
So that's all I know about
you're
it.
there, and then you're not. The TV is just off. It's like midnight. Bam.
Yeah.
You don't even get to hear the Star Spangled Banner before the station cuts out. But we're not allowed to talk about any of that stuff or what could possibly be causing that, because we've got a violation until November.
You are making me really nervous right now.
I know. So that's why this is the show. This is like Seinfeld. We're a show about nothing now.
Oh, good.
We're a show about nothing. I'm looking at these elements. I'm looking at these videos that Chris has ready for me, and I'm like, not playing that shit. Not going to do it. I'm kidding. Americans are moving to Mexico. They're moving to Mexico to escape inflation.
That's great.
This is where we are. I mean, I know people who are personally moving to Puerto Rico because they want to get away from the tax deal.
Are you moving to Puerto Rico?
So I have friends who you got to live there 6 months. You got to get a house there.
Okay.
You got to get a condo or whatever. You have to be a property owner there.
You have to invest in.
But you don't pay income tax.
Wow.
But you have to live there at least 6 months of the year. So these friends of mine I have folks that have jets. They have their own planes, so that's an easy commute. In that regard.
No kidding. Well, how do they know if you're actually living there?
They know. Oh. There's 87,000 new IRS agents. Trust me, they know. They already know. Have you seen the little training videos that they're playing of these IRS
Are those
flunkies?
real? Are those real?
Yeah, I mean, you got the dumpy chick and the dude in the wheelchair.
Yeah,
and it's like,
that's why I was like, I feel like this is satire. This cannot be real.
Yeah, and they're all carrying too.
Yeah.
I think it's real.
I mean, well, the just the fact that I'm not sure if it's real just tells you how absurd it is, even if it isn't or is. Like the fact that we're not sure.
I see all this crap that people like Beck spew. You know, I see all this stuff about the world is ending and the all these things. This one has me nervous.
Yeah.
Because I love my money. To me, I work really hard. I work really hard. You work really hard.
Yes, all the time.
And what I make, I earn.
Correct.
Nobody's giving me anything.
Right.
So I have these people, like I made a reel on Facebook this morning, a little video where I jokingly was talking about we're back on YouTube. So the ban is lifted, you bunch of skinflints and you cheap asses that don't want to pay for a subscription to the Blaze. That's what I said. And then I laughed. People were pissed at me for how dare you. People are having a hard time. And it's like, you don't watch the show when it's for free. You don't watch it on YouTube. We've been doing this thing for 4 years now, putting it on YouTube, putting it on Rumble.
Right.
And we haven't been putting it on Rumble because Rumble won't deal with us in the right ways. We're trying to get it back on Rumble.
Yeah.
Podcasts are free. We have sponsors for the show. Then people bitch about that. Y'all have too many commercials.
Yep.
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
Yep.
Like we do all this stuff in order to offer it to you for free.
They're so entitled. They're so used to getting it for
It's
free.
hard for us. Well, none of you are sending me any money.
Right.
So the money I make is earned, right? If I don't have, I built a social media following with the express purpose of putting eyeballs on other people's products and my own.
Yeah.
So I do all this stuff with affiliate marketing and things like that. We're always looking for partners in that regard because guess what? I don't know if you know this or not, but I never made a dime sitting in my truck with the dog in the back seat talking to my dashboard. Like nobody ever said, you know what? I love that guy.
I'm going to pay him $100,000.
I'm going to send him some cash.
Yeah.
I'm going to send him some cash. But we do all this stuff, and people get pissed off because you say, subscribe to The Blaze, which, by the way, you can do that at blazetv.com/Chad. Use promo code Chad. We keep offering this thing up. And I'm like, you bunch of cheap asses. And I'm like, look, it's so hard. I'm not asking you for $1,000. Like $80. So that when we get banned on these platforms, you can come back.
$80 a year.
Fines a year.
I'd like to point that out.
A year.
I've
spent more money last night on spilled liquor.
The thing that really bothers me about that
It's a joke, people.
is what other conservative, and I mean, I love the Daily Wire. I love what they're doing. They're friends of ours.
Sure.
But
Sure
this is the most reasonable price for conservative content that you're going to find, especially considering all of the big names that you're getting. And people still find a reason to bitch and complain.
Yeah, Daily Wire has 4.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like, okay, cool. Then I guess go watch Fox News. Like, I guess that's what you want to do, then.
Let's piss everybody off.
Let's do it.
Is what it is. But we do have a lot of voices.
We
on
do.
The Blaze that people should be keeping up with. And it's not about can you get the content somewhere else? Yeah, you can. But it's important that you support us because it's voices like ours that they're trying to silence.
Right.
And they're coming after us. So this IRS thing does have me concerned because to me, money is freedom. Money is freedom. The money, everybody talking about, I don't have the money for it. That's right. You just told me that you don't have the freedom to subscribe or to do what you want to do. I can't move to Puerto Rico. I don't have a private jet. That's right, because money is freedom. Now they're wanting to make sure they take your money away. And in another segment, I'm going to go further into that because I do have something, and we are going to play some of these clips that Chris has aptly prepared for us. But I was on a podcast, somebody else's podcast. We went and recorded it yesterday. And I was telling him about my first trip to Russia. And he goes, what was that like? And I was like, well, it was right at the fall of communism. And so the residue, you could literally feel it. It was 94. And I said, you can still feel the residue of the oppression that was there.
Wow.
And I said, I'm afraid that's where we're headed.
Yeah.
That's because it's that kind of, you got to get permission from everybody to do everything. This IRS thing has me concerned.
I mean, everything that happens lately, I'm like, boy, is this the point of no return? Like, can we come back from this? Because it feels like we've fallen awfully far.
Well, our buddy Ian Haworth, he's got a new show, Off Limits. He's going to join us in the next segment. I want to ask him about that as well. Hey, you guys seeing pictures of yourselves? I did the video today of with the reel, and I had my hat off, and I was like, I better put a hat on. You see this kind of stuff, and it's like, you're losing your hair. What are you going to do about it? Well, you do what I do. You save the hair you got. Don't just shave it all off. Use Keeps. Keeps has that clinically proven, FDA-approved hair treatment that's available online. You can prevent hair loss. You can stimulate hair growth, take care of the hair you have. The Keeps physicians will help you select the right products and develop a personalized hair-saving routine that works just for you. So you don't have to wait in the doctor's office or go to the pharmacy. Keeps is going to deliver their product straight to your door at about half the cost because they use the generic forms of the medication. And if you have questions, you can message your Keeps doctor 24/7. So don't listen to the balding jokes. Do what thousands of guys have done and save your hair by visiting keeps.com/lost. They'll give you 50% off your first order. That's Keeps, KEEPS.com/lost. Keeps.com/lost. We'll be right back. All right, everybody, welcome back. I want to welcome to the program my good friend Ian Haworth. He has a brand new show, Off Limits with Ian Haworth. Ian, welcome to the program. How are you doing, my brother?
I'm doing great. Yeah, thank you for having me. It's been a hot minute since we've spoken, so
it has
glad
been
to be on with you again.
Yeah, you were with Daily Wire. Now you're out doing your own thing, which I love. And you sent me a recent clip of the new show. And the content is fantastic. I love it, and I love what you're doing. And I said, you got to get on the show. Let's talk about it. Talk to me a little bit about the evolution of how you got to where you are doing this show and what kind of the point is of what everything you're doing. Like, what's the impetus of the show?
Yeah, so my career trajectory is the most random thing it could possibly be. So I started out in tech, one of those immigrants coming over, stealing American jobs in Silicon Valley, and then just started getting really kind of fed up with just the radicalism that's over there. So all the things you've heard, all the stereotypes are absolutely true. During the Kavanaugh hearings, I had people full on walk out of the room with me, not look me in the face, accuse me of rape because I'm a man. And of course, men are rapists worldwide. And so that really kind of sparked something in me that I wanted to make a small difference. Started writing just some commentary pieces, and it kind of just ballooned from there. And now I've started this show, which is try and combine political commentary, but not in the kind of angry way that a lot of conservative commentators do. I know, like your show, I've always enjoyed because you kind of take it all with a bit of a smile, a bit tongue in cheek. And I think that's what I'm trying to do, trying to be really the conservative answer to shows like the Late Show, the Late Late Show, John Oliver's show. I mean, I'm British, so people must believe what I have to say. I just thought I'd try and ride that as long as I could until people realize otherwise.
Yeah, anything said with a British accent is always, it lends credibility to anything that comes out of your mouth. So be careful. Don't tell people the sky is falling unless you know it's really falling, because people will run for cover and they will believe it. But I appreciate what you're doing. It's good content, and as you said, it's always with that grain of humor. And I've always said if you could take some common sense and wrap it with humor, it makes it an easier pill to swallow. I've kind of been worried here lately, though, and I want to get your take on a couple of things. This the Mar-a-Lago raid, is this going to wind up being good or bad for Donald Trump?
I honestly am on the fence right now because I think any attention is good attention for Donald Trump. I think he was at his best in 2016 when he was really the voice on behalf of everyone who felt downtrodden by the institutions. And so he's literally being downtrodden by the institutions. So it's kind of a return to the Donald Trump that won an election. But it's also demonstrative of the fact that the entire apparatus of government is leveraged against conservatives right now. The fact that they can go into Donald Trump's house and look for, I don't know, photos of himself. I don't really think he has anything of any value. When Bill Clinton walked out of the White House with half of it, including an intern under his arm. And so I just don't think there's a lot to be happy about right now. I think it could certainly be leveraged in a beneficial way. But anytime any government institution is being leveraged against what seem to be law-abiding citizens is a bad day for everyone, let alone Donald Trump.
Yeah. I'm starting to get really, really concerned because to me, money means freedom, and they're coming after our money, both with the ESG scores, the modern monetary theory, the Great Reset, but now you're adding 87,000 IRS stormtroopers to a really terrible organization as it exists right now. They're arming them. They're putting them through training. We've seen the job description and the requirements of what they've asked of them. Are you ready to use deadly force, and are you available 24/7? Is this going to come to fruition, in your opinion? I mean, when you're watching this stuff, how far is this federal government willing to take it in terms of being a big government overlord to the American people?
Well, that's certainly the goal for Joe Biden for decades and many of his contemporaries. We have one thing to rely on, though, is the fact that the government is pretty inept. They're very bad at actually following through with anything. And so there is a hint of it might just be a waste of money, another couple of $100 billion down the drain. But if they do get what they want done, which is having a much stronger stranglehold over the American people and their money, then they'll have much more control over every single part of your life. I mean, the fact that they're saying that they're going to be going after billionaires with all this power is just nonsense. Do you think they would rather go after people who can't afford to defend themselves, who will just get, a couple of $1,000s at a time out of people's hard-earned paychecks? Or do you think they're going to waste millions of dollars going after people who have all the lawyers in the world to fight it? It's obviously going to hit middle-class Americans hardest, because that's always who get hit hardest.
Yeah.
They don't have the money to defend themselves, but they also have the resources that the government wants to take a bite out of their wallet. So I'm obviously worried, because the IRS is one of the agencies that gets ignored a lot of the time, and they're one of the ones that are most powerful and most impactful to everyday Americans.
And people are simping really hard for this big government. You go no further than Twitter to see people who are saying, really govern me harder. They're defending the IRS, which is amazing, the level of insanity that we're tolerating right now, and even encouraging. We know that the woke can't joke. We know that everything woke turns to shit. We're seeing that happen, and people are defending this. How far do you think this thing goes in terms of really silencing conservatives? You've got a platform you're trying to build. I've got a platform that I'm always wanting to increase the growth of. We're just coming off of a 2-week YouTube ban for discussing vaccine stuff. Is that going to get better or worse? Is there an avenue whereby, in your opinion, that we can get those voices heard without, continually being censored and shut down?
Unfortunately, I think being censored is just part of the game for us now. I think it's almost like living under the mafia and having to pay them every couple of weeks just to keep afloat. Like, censorship is just a reality of the world we live in, because big tech is really the mirror of the powers that be, which right now are the Democratic Party, who don't want Democrats holding a voice. They don't want Republicans having a voice. They don't want conservatives having outlets through news. They don't want having outlets through entertainment. And so we're really fighting against the machine right now. And what's kind of funny is the way the left talk about the right as if we are the institutions, we're the establishment. We're not. We haven't been for decades. We're the revolutionaries. It's really, the world is upside down right now. And so I think censorship, until conservatives gain a foothold in the culture a little more, rather than just being angry and trying to do what you're doing with your show and what I'm trying to do with my show, trying to gain a foothold in the culture in a way that we can really deserve our place to be there, rather than just complaining from the outskirts, it's not going to get better, unfortunately.
No. Let me ask you this on a personal level. Why are you a conservative? I mean, wouldn't it just be easier for us just to take a big bite out of the tempting liberal apple and just embrace it all? What motivates you to stay the way you are and use the voice for how you do?
I think a lot of it was coming to America as well was a big thing for me. I never really felt at home in the UK, because conservatism in the UK really isn't conservative at all. It's just like a Democrat, but with a British accent, frankly. And so coming to the United States, realizing the kind of individual freedom that's to the core of the country started to make me curious, and I learned more and more. Really, at the core of it, it's just individualism and individual freedom that is my really driving motivation behind all of this. Because when you just look at the left and the right and compare them, the individual has no real status on the left. It's all about collectivism. It's all about really being used as an individual cog in a much larger machine. And really, that's opposite to what I think the United States should be and was meant to be. Yeah. And so that's what drives me. And then coming just from somewhere that has, for example, socialized medicine, and realizing how absolutely shitty it is, just little things like that make me really want to push for it. And I can't imagine being anything else right now. I think conservatism is at the core of what makes America great, and I don't want to see it go the direction of other European countries right now.
I want to live in a world where Beyonce and Lizzo can use the word spaz in a song and not have to retract their lyrics. Literally, I can't believe I'm fighting for them, but that's ultimately, for me, I want people just to be left alone. I understand Brian Stelter's fat ass can't govern himself, but I can do a good job of it. Dude, Stelter, I tweeted a video from yesterday's show where I called out Brian Stelter on that very topic, and I put it on Twitter. The son of a bitch liked it. I mean, I know he's being passive aggressive and just liking whatever his name is attached to, but how weird. Mainstream media is problematic. We know that. These personalities out there, they're wanting to be celebrities. But, you know, you got guys like you and me who are out there telling the truth and just doing it in an unfiltered, unadulterated way, and it pisses off the establishment. And I say, let's just keep pissing them off, man. People, what is the best way people can find everything Ian Haworth is doing?
Yes, you can either follow me on all social media, IGHAWORTH, or you can head over to YouTube, search for Off Limits with Ian Haworth, and again, HAWORTH. You can find all my videos there.
Good. Have you? And you're doing this on your own now. So I mean, that's a huge endeavor. You don't have some big financial backer out there doing that. So I'm encouraging people not only to watch the show but to support you. There may be some businesses out there that want to be a sponsor of Off Limits, and I encourage people to do that. We've got to stick together in this game. Is there a way when people come and find that, and I'm sure you talk about it on your show as far as contacting you. You and I talk a lot we can text, but we talk a lot on Twitter as well. So you're reachable, you're accessible. You're not living in some ivory tower. Yeah, you're not in some ivory tower out there. So that's good. What's next, man? Do you think Donald Trump's going to run in 2024? And on top of that, do you think Joe Biden's going to run in 2024?
I think Joe Biden will run if he has a pulse. I don't think they have anyone else on their bench right now. I mean, look, you've got Pete Buttigieg, who's famous for being gay and liking trains. You've got Kamala Harris, who's like a human predictive text machine. They have no one that's any good. So Joe Biden will run, even if he's dead, honestly. They might just keep him, warm him up in the microwave and roll him out. He may be dead now, Ian. Yeah, who knows? He's been dead for a while. Yeah. And then Donald Trump, I go back and forth with Donald Trump. I think he has a lot he could do that's good. Yeah. My worry is just focusing on losing. I don't think is a good thing for conservatism. I want to look forward to the future. I want to look forward as to why we should be beating the Democrats, because they are as beatable as I think they've ever been. And so I think someone like DeSantis might be a better fit for that. Yeah. If Donald Trump can just move on from 2020 and start focusing on 2024, I think a lot of people will be behind him. So one of the two, anyone but the Democrats right now, honestly, like a bag of human shit is better than the Democrats right now. So I'm praying.
Ian Haworth, the show is called Off Limits. Do not miss it. Go get it. Ian, thanks for coming on the show. I'm going to talk to you soon, brother. Always appreciate you. Take care, buddy.
Thanks, Chad. Have a good one.
You too. Homeowners, beware. You could already be the victim of home title theft and not have a clue. Some cyber thief may have already forged his name onto the title to your home, and here's how you're going to find out. My partners over at Home Title Lock have a special offer for our listeners and viewers. Go to HomeTitleLock.com. Enter your address. They will give you a free, no-obligation home title scan. You'll know if it's being tampered with. You're going to discover if a cyber thief is already camping on your home's title. Now, the title to your home is the only document that proves you actually own it. Once he forges your title, he could take out loans on your home or forge your name that says he's the new owner. Now, what I want you to do is make sure the home's title is securely in your name. Do it by going to HomeTitleLock.com. Use my promo code RADIO. Enter your address. It's free. No obligation. Home title scan. That's $100 value. Again, HomeTitleLock.com. Use code RADIO. Go sign up. HomeTitleLock.com. Code RADIO. We'll be right back. Hey, folks, welcome back. If you ever had the absolute temerity to believe that we are not on the precipice of a hostile takeover at the hands of far-right extremists, then you've probably not heard about the latest salvo in the war against holy progressivism and all of its blue-haired, limp-wristed, but morally perfect adherents. Yes, let's sit in the dust in sackcloth and pour upon our own heads the ashes of an otherwise utopian liberal society, weeping and gnashing our teeth. Now, I want to caution you, if you have small children, shield them from what I'm about to say so that their innocence is not taken from them moments too soon in the appropriately penis-shaped state of Florida. That's actually hard to say. Penis-shaped state of Florida. There is now available to the general public a license plate with, wait for it, the Gadsden flag. What fresh horror is visited upon the casual citizen who must now, in the course of his or her or their daily drive, encounter the image of a yellow field with a coiled snake and the words, "Don't tread on me," emblazoned across the bottom. How many car wrecks will you cause in your ignoble zealotry, you white cisgendered male-dominant right-wing whores? Sorry, I forgot to speak progressive properly. You white cisgendered male-dominant right-wing sex workers. That's better. Folks, little exaggeration need be used to describe the appearance of the Gadsden flag as a license plate option when NPR and Newsweek willing to wring their hands between bouts of spurious and furious typing on a day when surely their news cycle folder must have been otherwise empty. Listen to this Newsweek quote, and I want you to try to keep your lunch down. They said, much like the Confederate flag, the Gadsden flag is accused of harboring racial connotations, seeing as its designer owned and traded black slaves, end quote. Now, if you have a brain in your head, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, yeah, so did a ton of other people, many of whom did far more than create a flag, make sure that pencil-necked pukes like the editorial staff at Newsweek would continuously have the right to print nonsense like this. But I digress. NPR posted an entire article on the subject, also labeling the flag as a far-right symbol and making the following claim. They said, and I quote, "The imagery of the Revolutionary War-era Gadsden flag dates to Benjamin Franklin, but has, for many, come to symbolize a far-right extremist ideology and the Stop the Steal movement that sought to overturn the 2020 presidential election results," end quote. Now, obviously, this garnered a lot of eye rolls and a lot of funny Twitter responses. Imagine being such a snowflake that a license plate scares you was done by one of our own, Jill Savage, here at the Blaze. Why? Because this almost doesn't even fit into the category of dangerous rhetoric on the part of the left. It's almost too stupid for that. But I use the word almost advisedly because, of course, there's a deeper ideological substrate from which a dumbass notion like this emerges into the real world. Because it's gaslighting, pure and simple. We all know what "don't tread on me" means. Even the wokey McWokersons of the writing staff at NPR know what it means. It stands for a mindset which says that neither the government of this country nor the governments of other countries get to take away our freedoms. We will not be trampled on. And that's a mindset that used to be shared to one extent or another by both sides of the political spectrum. We could actually unify around that. We used to understand that whatever our internal differences on the nuts and bolts of running this country, we all had a base level of freedom which could not and should not be trampled on. Now, we need to get back to that notion. More importantly, we need to find a way to get our liberal-minded brothers and sisters back to that notion. They're not going to make it easy on us, that's for sure. Oh, and one final note, since I can't end with all the peace and lovey-dovey, hold hands and sing kumbaya, throw your stick in the fire shit. Hey, liberals, know who's making those license plates with the oppressive Gadsden flag on them? Forced labor. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. They don't think these things through. So... Anyway,
these things? I don't think anything through.
Anything. Do you have any tequila in your glass? I got some tequila.
I do.
And I'll be honest with you, I drank a lot last night. And I didn't mean to. But I was with Steve Helms.
We never do.
And it forces me because you have to drink to be around Steve.
Poor
you
Steve.
just have to drink.
Poor Steve.
Mm-hmm.
Get off Steve's lawn.
Poor Steve, yeah. It's the grumpiest old man I know. We're going to be, the band is going to be the Ragamuffins. Is going to be September 3rd. What month are we in? We're in August.
We're in
September
August.
3rd, we're going to be in Conroe at Southern Star Brewing. It's going to be a fun little music festival. Our buddy Jody Bartula and the Barflies. Jody is a good friend of ours. He's a fiddle player for Cody Johnson's band.
Okay.
And so he's got his own little band that they do stuff with. And so
Fun.
he's going to be with us too. We got a full band now. Full band. I mean,
I'm
we
still
just
waiting
added
for my backup singer.
We
invite.
added a bass player, and of course we've added a drummer, and it's good. So it's fun. Let's play.
By the way, can I tell everyone,
Yeah.
if you would like a shirt like this, you should go to 76forever.com.
Okay, and if you want some spicy bitch hot sauce, and also some seasoning and the spicy bitch hats and shirts, you can go to Shop Sarah G.
And, I should have brought my tumbler that says #NotTequila and put the tequila
You do
in
have
this.
that with the tequila in there.
Go check it out.
We're selling a lot of tumblers. We make a pretty good pair, don't we?
We sure do,
Look at
Chad
us pissing
Prather.
off everybody. So Biden inflation, biggest step forward for climate is his Inflation Act. Did y'all see? Do you have that clip? Can you play it? I got something I want to say about this. Play it.
Invest $369 billion
No.
to take the most aggressive action ever in confronting the climate crisis and strengthening our energy security. It's going to offer working families thousands of dollars in savings by providing them rebates to buy new and efficient appliances, weatherize their homes, get tax credit for purchasing heat pumps and rooftop solar, electric stoves, ovens, dryers. It gives consumers a tax credit to buy electric vehicles or fuel cell vehicles, new or used. And it gives them a tax credit of up to $7,500 if those vehicles were made in America. This bill is the biggest step forward on climate ever. And it's going to allow us to boldly take additional steps toward meeting all of my climate goals, the ones we set out when we ran.
Here's the problem with that. He doesn't give a rat's ass about any of that he just said.
No.
Joe Biden doesn't care about the climate or the environment or your electric car and your $7,500 rebate. And you saw what Ford did. They just increased the price of their vehicles by $8,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Ford just increased. The government's going to give you $7,500 rebate towards an electric car. Ford just raised their price by $8,000. So, I mean, come on.
Well, I also, they call it the Inflation Reduction Act, which it's not reducing inflation. So it's obviously incorrect. But it's called the Inflation Reduction Act, yet all he has to say is climate, climate, climate. It's like, maybe you guys should have titled it our climate change bill, because that seems to be all that is considered when you guys are spending all of our money on all of this bullshit.
Well, and again, in their mind as well, we're going to solve the inflation problem, which gas is up 60%, by making you not have to get gas anymore.
Right.
So you don't have to worry about the inflation anymore. Because let me tell you, what's going to happen is gas, they're going to force everybody, their whole goal is everybody with an electric car by 2030 to 2035. And I mean, even the muscle cars, that's what Glenn was talking about this morning, even the muscle cars, your Dodge Challengers and all this kind of stuff, they want to make them electric.
That's not a muscle car.
No, it's not. They want to get rid of all combustion engines. So then what will happen if you can manage to get a gasoline-powered car, the gas will be $10, $12 a gallon. Mm-hmm. So they're just going to, take away any incentive whatsoever of having
And again, this has all been a crisis of their own making.
Yeah.
I mean, they did things, they took steps to make this worse while saying, well, we realize that times are hard right now, but we're in a transition.
Yeah.
I mean, this was completely intentional every step of the way.
100%. We said it over and over again, but we're conspiracy theorists.
Right.
What was it they called me the other day? They said us, talking about me and you, they said we're just tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theorists over at the Blaze. Mm-hmm. Speaking of that, everybody needs some socks. How about that connection? Yeah, it's hot out there, but I promise you fall's just around the corner. So get ready for the cooler months, the midterms, and pumpkin spice latte season, you white people, with the new limited edition socks from the Blaze. You can do all kinds of things with these socks.
They're very soft.
They're very soft. They're comfortable. They're fun to show off to your conservative friends. They're sure to irritate the liberal haters you might wish you didn't even know. If you've ever wanted to do something to Klaus Schwab, he's on some of these socks. They've got Joe Biden's. They got.
If your aim is right.
Yeah, listen, they're all going to be gone by August 22nd, so you need to get some packs of socks and kick leftism where it hurts. Get the Blaze Media's conservative socks today. They got Ron DeSantis, Don Trump, Glenn Beck, and more. You got to love them. Go to blazesocks.com. Get them before they're gone. And if you're a subscriber to Blaze TV, you get to use promo code BlazeSub for 20% off your purchase. The code's only available to Blaze TV subscribers, and you got to use the email address that you used to log in to your Blaze subscription. BlazeSub is the code, 20% off if you're a Blaze TV subscriber. Thanks for supporting America. BlazeSocks.com. We'll be right back. So our buddy Kyle Rittenhouse moved to Texas, and he got pulled over in Texas, and he was down in Williamson County, Thrall, Texas, little town, and he took a picture with one of the deputies, and they posted it on their Facebook page, and the post said, "Make those stops. You never know who you might meet." Today it was Kyle Rittenhouse. Welcome to Texas. Well, you can only imagine the comments that came in, right?
Probably not from Texans.
And so they're losing their freaking minds over that, everybody criticizing it. And so they doubled down. To their credit, they doubled down. They added the following message to the post. They said, I must have missed something. I believe that this young man was arrested, charged, indicted, and then found not guilty by a jury of his peers. Is this not how our country works anymore? The hate in these comments is terrible. If you have information that is contrary to that, I would honestly love to hear it.
A freaking men.
Yeah, they got 12,000 likes on that. I mean, it's rookie numbers, but...
well, for a police department?
Yeah, I'm just kidding. That's good for them. I'm glad they doubled down on that.
I'm sure
deal.
it's their most interacted with post ever.
Yeah, which I don't know if he got pulled over or not, but they apparently ran into him somewhere.
That's great. I hope everyone is nice to him. He should be welcome here.
He should be. And and Kyle is. You say what you want to say about Kyle Rittenhouse. We know him.
Yes,
he's the nicest.
He is.
Just quietest.
He's so sweet.
He's demure.
Yep.
And I think I told people, I asked him, I said, I've got a friend who would I was wearing a hat, and they said, could you please get him to sign that hat and give it to me?
Yeah.
And he said, I've never signed an autograph.
He's uncomfortable with it.
Yeah.
And when we talked to him with Elijah and Sydney, he was like, I'm not a hero. I'm very uncomfortable being called one. I don't consider myself to be that at all.
Yeah.
So he's a good kid.
Good kid. Liz Cheney is not a good kid.
No, she is neither good nor kid.
But she compared herself to Abraham Lincoln after losing the primary because said Abraham Lincoln was defeated in elections for the Senate and House before he won the most important election at all. You got that clip? Let us play it.
The great and original champion of our party, Abraham Lincoln, was defeated in elections for the Senate and the House before he won the most important election of all. Lincoln ultimately prevailed, he saved our Union, and he defined our obligation as Americans for all of history.
So is she saying she's going to run for president?
Sure sounds like it.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me. Oh, God, help us.
Yeah. We'll see how that works out for you, Liz. We will see.
Yeah.
We will see.
Wow.
Chad, didn't you tweet something about a Cheney dynasty?
I said the Cheney dynasty, the Bush dynasty, and I didn't say McCain, but you can include them in there. And then, of course, the Clinton dynasty. Mm-hmm. I said Donald Trump's gotten rid of all of them. So, I mean, he is effectively still draining the swamp.
That is true.
And so, yeah. And people go, well, we got rid of Trump years ago. Well, you didn't, because he's still on your mind. And he's still probably going to run in 2024.
Yeah.
So, you didn't, did you? You really didn't.
They're still trying.
You didn't do it.
They're still trying.
Hey, Mark, come back to that shot of me right there. What's going on with that light?
Yeah, that was
me?
weird.
Look at that. Lord?
Wait. Are you guys not doing that?
It's Liz Cheney, bro.
Liz Cheney. You talk about the Cheney dynasty? It's Dick coming to shoot me in the face. I wonder if he's got any Blaze socks.
Fun fact, those lights sometimes pop and they can burn you.
I ain't scared of nothing.
It burned a hole in Sydney Watson's jeans.
I remember that.
That was scary, too, and it happened right before we were about to go on air.
I used to burn holes in Sydney Watson's jeans, too.
I don't really feel like you did.
I don't even know what I'm saying right now.
I don't think you did.
I don't think I did. I miss her. God rest her.
Wait, she's not dead.
She's not dead.
I just talked to her.
Dead to me. You just talked to her?
Yeah.
I'll tell her she can kiss my ass. Anyway.
The thing with Liz Cheney,
yes.
Going back to her for a second, it's so baffling to me how these people, she got kicked out of her seat because she didn't do what her constituents wanted at the end of the day, right? They were tired of this January 6th drama.
Yep.
It was overplayed and they didn't want her doing it. And she did it anyway because she had a personal vendetta against a political figure. Right. And somehow these people think that their personal vendettas are more important than what their constituents want.
They do think that. Oh, well, so she's gone. For now. We'll see.
Miss Piggy will be back.
Miss Piggy. It's so rude to Miss Piggy. We got a TikTok? I can't wait. Let her play.
Portland, there's a shooting of a Trump supporter recently.
Awesome. I don't think I've heard of another Trump supporter being shot. So the what? He got shot. Is he alive?
I believe he died.
Oh. Tough luck. Don't be a Trump supporter in Portland.
That's thrilling right there.
These are horrible people.
But I mean, this is why I said a long time ago I'll never go to Portland again and do a show. I was talking to somebody yesterday and they were like, "Why won't you go back to these cities?" I'm like, I'm not going back. I'm not going to Chicago. I'm not going to Seattle. Now I'll go to Everett. I'll be there October 28th, which I do that every year, which is north of Seattle. But I'm not going back to Seattle.
It's that kind of thing.
I'm not going to Portland. Why would I?
It's that kind of thing, isn't it, that makes you go like, yeah, the national divorce thing sounds pretty good.
It sounds great. Mm-hmm. You know, I did a pretty solidly blistering tweet the other day that I just didn't post about that because I was like, if I post this, they're gonna just shut me down, and I don't want to. Like, this ain't a hill to die on right now. It just wasn't. It wasn't worth it. I don't mind getting kicked off of Twitter. You're kicked off of Twitter right now, Chris. It's so. Was that over a grooming thing? Was that a deal?
I called this doctor. The whole Boston doctors thing.
Yeah.
I called one of them a groomer, and I put into Twitter. I self-reported myself because it sent me an email saying, "We have a report on your reporting," and I clicked on it, and it said, "The person you reported at Real Chris Cruz did violate Twitter hate something," and I'm like, I did not self-report.
You got so guilty, your conscience just wouldn't let that thing stand, and so you reported yourself to the Twitter bots?
Wasn't that the doctor who said that they were performing hysterectomies on young girls? Yeah. I mean, feels like
it's a groomer. Yeah. Like, that is the ultimate in grooming right there, when you are medically, surgically changing someone.
It seems pretty self-explanatory.
Altering someone. That's reasonably shoe fits material.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah. Anyway, let's go to a quick break. Don't go on, got things to tell you. We'll be right back. So, talking about Twitter suspensions and bans, they talked about us in that report about using the word groomer and all
digital
that.
Digital hate.
How we were for digital hate, against the LGBT. So, just found out that gays against groomers, they just got their account suspended.
Yeah.
So, I mean, literally, Twitter
I would say that's pretty hateful against
they're
LGBT.
Yeah. So, they did that. The T's are driving the car.
The smallest percentage of them somehow is driving the car. It's mind-boggling to me.
I feel bad for the L's, the G's, and the B's.
Yeah. Dude, I did a video
because
probably
of the T's.
3 years ago when this stuff started coming out more and more, and I was like, I feel like the L's, the G's, and the B's are all kind of like, we don't really want to. Can we have like a splitsies?
I told you about my friend who's an L. Mm-hmm. She reached out to me a while back when I was talking about the transitions and the military paying for it, and Trump ended all that. And she's like, and I said, why do you even care?
Yeah.
She goes, well, we're sort of all lumped in together. I said, yeah, but you're not.
You're not.
You're not. Anyway, shopsarag.com, Sara Gonzales Unfiltered on YouTube. We're back, folks, but don't forget, go to watchchad.com, and that's where all the fun stuff is. Going to get off the rails tomorrow. How far can we go? We'll see. Bye.